and soybeans, 1,339, takes about half the seed that it takes to plant wheat and barley and oats. About a third of the wheat, barley and oats. What? Oh shoot! What the hell happened there? Somehow I've ended up really running the clock too fast. Oops. That's gone all dark. So, potatoes took 16,962 litres of seed. So, what's that? 8 times the amount of seed that wheat, barley or oats uses. An oilseed radish uses 446, which is about 1/6. So that's why you use oilseed radish as a cover crop, because it is incredibly efficient seed usage. Said 1/8 of what wheat and barley use. Okay, we will finish off. They really screwed that up, didn't they? We'll finish off cultivating this field and then we'll go to bed then, since we wasted the entire afternoon in 10 seconds. Yes, and that is exactly what I do on law folds. I will harvest a field because Farm Sim 17 you plough every third harvest. I'll either then plough or I will cultivate on the other 2 years, and then I send the seed around with the oilseed radish and I plant that, and I leave that in the ground for the entirety of winter. And then in spring I have a slurry tank with cultivator attachment, and I put digestate in the ground while I cultivate in the oilseed radish. So at that point I have 2 levels of fertilization, and then immediately after I finish the cultivating and slurrying I will plant the cash crop for the coming year. Now with the likes of wheat, barley and canola, because they survive winter months, or can survive the winter months, I will put the oilseed radish in fall. I will plough, cultivate it in with the digestate application, and then I will plant wheat, barley and oats, not wheat, barley and oats, wheat, barley and canola on the last day of fall, and they will grow early spring. But I don't have to spend my time planting in early spring. I can get the soybean and cornfields ready and plant them late spring. And it also means that the wheat, barley and canola is ready to harvest at the end of summer rather than through fall. So again, that's spreading out the harvest, so I don't have to mess around with, I'm not rushed to do everything in 2 days between the rain. Usually at least 2/3 of my field are cereal crops that are going to be harvestable in summer. Oilseed radish it's a very good way to save money because seed is cheaper than fertilizer, and you use a heck of a lot less seed on an oilseed radish field than you do on any other type of field. mean, the only thing cheaper would be manure, slurry, or digestate. And on all folds, I use that too. Coming up on 11 o'clock. I guess that means since I'm playing a day per a session per day, and we kind of fast winded through that day a little bit enthusiastically. It was just one day, wasn't it? Yes. The stream is going to be a little bit shorter than normal. It's nice that the field is nicely divisible by about 6 meters a time. Approximately. Sleep almost. Do it. Yes. So, if we now check back on these fields, these fields were just planted and got a bonus level of fertilization. Same with this one. This also, but we have fertilized that with 1 round of liquid spray, and the same with this one. This field, all we've done is plant oilseed radish and cultivate it in. We have 1 layer of fertilization. We still have to plant that field, and if we do, hopefully, it's off. We should hopefully end up with a 2nd level of fertilization. I would like to find out that. So what we are going to do, it is so dark. We'll put the cultivator away. We'll go to sleep for about 6 hours. Well, there are some lights on the farm, just put the tail lights on so I can see what's what back there. Okay. And the great improvement of FS19. The roof doesn't leak in the barn. Yay. So we will drop the weight off. We'll reattach the planter and we will go to bed. We'll plant that field first thing in the morning. Okay, put this over here. I'm gonna check the weather forecast for tomorrow, which is here. So it is going to rain until sometime between 6 and 9, and then it drops to a 40% chance of rain. So we're going to get a little dry patch tomorrow morning. I'll sleep through to about 7, I guess. So what's the time now? 11 o'clock. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sun comes up. Still a bit damp, but what does this look like? So is that 67% growth, 21% moisture? So yeah, we're not going to get any straw out of that. And we'll take a little run over here. So these fields have been planted for 1 day. Nothing has come up yet. 0% growth. Oh, 33% fertilization. Yeah. Same there. That field back there is still growing. So let's jump in the tractor, go put the soybeans in the ground and see what happens. Okay. Now it's still raining, but not a lot. I missed my turn. I missed my turn and crashed. Oh. The tractor and stuff is all nice and clean from the rain. So, soybeans, let's go. Again, we'll go once round the edge of this field. Then it's looking fine. We'll just drive in a straight line, that would be awesome. Finish this before 9 o'clock. That would be an awesome thing. Because if it does stop raining for the morning, I may slip out and fertilise some of these fields before the end of the day, before the rain comes back. looking at 40% chance of rain for the next 6-ish hours, well, from 9 o'clock onwards. About 6 hours. I believe they would call it scattered showers. And then a fully fledged downpour for the rest of the day. Problematic areas along the edge of this field which are not seeding too well. And Skypleb, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So I think this will be a wide enough strip to review the map. See what's going on. Okay, so where are we sitting? We are getting a second level of fertilization. We have not fertilized this field once yet today. So, bottom line, if you leave the field fallow, you're going to get a free level of fertilization. There may be other free levels of fertilization that we haven't discovered yet, but we didn't have the option to find out because nothing's been growing on this farm for at least 2 years until we took over. The oilseed radish is definitely a good thing to put in the ground. And for us, we planted it day 3 and it was ready to cultivate in on day 5. To the edge of the field. Yes. Okay. So possibly after we've harvested this field, I may off camera do a little bit of landscaping on the road edge, see if we can get the field level so it's easier to plant and stuff. So my recommendation is, if you're able to plant on day 3, stick down some oilseed radish because it's quite efficient to plant, and then day 5 do your main planting for your crops. But you're gonna suffer. But that's one test checked off. We're not getting a map with the Platinum DLC. is that's the last rumour I heard. Which is a bit of a shame, because it's kind of nice to get a map midlife of the game. Or official map midlife of the game. That probably means we won't get a new crop type either. Although you can't necessarily rule that out. Because we effectively, I mean, the two DLCs we've got so far, yeah, we got wood chip bales from poplars, which wasn't a thing before. And we got round bales for cotton, which wasn't a thing before. Although they're not strictly speaking new crop types, because we've always had wood chips, you just haven't been able to stick them in a bale. And since the beginning of Farm Sim 19 we've also had cotton, they just come out square. On this map are not as much of a pain as they were in 17, but they may very well find themselves demolished before much longer. I remember on 17 these fields weren't quite as square, and yeah, they had 90-degree edges, but weren't diagonal. But they were sort of L-shaped and what have you. And they did knock down pretty much every tree in this area and ploughed all of the arable land together to make one bigger field. And there's always the option to do that here. That plot of waste ground at the top of this field in 17 was a grass field. It might have been a grass field, it might have been trees that I chopped down and then turned into a grass field. But I do remember mowing that strip of land just north of here. I'm not going to be able to drive through that, am I? Let's go. Yay. This end doesn't look very straight. This looks really very sloppily planted. So try and fill this gap here. I don't know how hopeful it is though. Not too bad. So yeah, as I was saying, tomorrow night will be our normal World of Warships stream because I really feel like a break from Farm Sim 19. However, we will have 3 young children in the house, one of which refuses to go to bed until Mummy and Daddy go to bed. Or at least until Mummy goes to bed. And then Saturday morning might be a little late start because I'm going to have to cook some toast with holes with eggs in, because that's just traditional, before I get to start Lord Folds, and then we will probably have an audience for that. Kids go back to their mum, I think around about 5 o'clock. So we'll be taking them out to eat and then taking them home. And then I might stream something later on Saturday, and it really depends on how I feel. Sunday night, the girls get back, and we'll find out for how long they're staying here until they go back to visit their prospective new mothers, or mother. So there could be a lot of screaming for a few hours before I'm able to stream on Sunday night. That is true. I think that's a problem I had with... Let's turn that off. With Estancia La Pacha. Crud. Yeah, I know. There you go. Here comes the other one. Gee, thanks, dude. Because I'm fairly sure the field I was ploughing to get more land area, we ended up with probably a buried tree somewhere in there, which caused workers to just refuse to work the field efficiently. Okay, at this point I am going to fix this tractor. We're also going to check the seeder because it's done a fair amount of work. See how badly that needs repair too. So, tractors. The tractor. We will repair that. 419, yeah, that's not bad. Seeder. Yeah, barely used. So stick that in drive. But I think part of the map, the tree shortcuts is what's caused the weird tree glitches in Seasons, because Seasons modifies the tree objects so that they have no leaves in winter and progress through spring, summer, fall, like you would expect trees to do. Black Sheep Modding, who did this map, have done a very good job of using trees that do not have a problem for Farm Sim 19. Oatfield farm, not so good. And that's probably why he's removed a lot of the buried trees, because a lot of the trees do not play fair with seasons. And you run with very weird textures at various points through the year. And I noticed that who was doing Oatfield with seasons? Honestly can't remember. Oh, now Daggerwin did one episode of Peterville with seasons, and the trees were all blocky, glitchy. But he has since erased, he's deleted that save. He didn't bother saving it, and he's reset back so that his seasons session doesn't count. Basically got removed from the game, and he carried on with his pre-season save. I'm going to leave the tractor there. So, the way we stand at the moment, obviously no fertilization there because we got failed to germinate on the oilseed radish. This field is fertilized twice. This one I sprayed once, this one I sprayed once. Every other field has benefited from fallow land prior to planting. So they all got a free fertilization, I think, since we're still in the tractor. So I'm guessing in order to make Oatfield Farm seasons compliant, one of the things Oxygen David did was to remove a lot of the bad trees, and potentially a lot of the trees that people have complained about not being able to remove because he buried them. And that's never a bad thing. So how much? We got 239 in there. It's 39 litres too much to put the second canister in right now. So I will put a weight on the front. Oh, I will put a weight on the front. And we'll stick it in reverse. I will park this here. Exit. I will slow down to ×1 speed for a while. So, the plan now is it's cloudy for a few hours until the rain comes back. The rain is due to come back. Yes. Tick. 3 o'clock this afternoon. Thereabouts. So we want to get as much fertilization as we can in the next six-ish hours. Get out the tractor. As far as our fields go, we have no weeds. That's a good start. But that's not necessarily going to stay that way. If I wanted to buy some land, I would considering buying that, which is 96,000. That's grass. I would cut it and then lime it. Does not need to be ploughed. So we could just slap some. We could cut that, slap some lime on it, and let it carry on growing. Make sure we fertilise it sometime. That would give us 29 and 6 to do our grass tests. Grass, hay, silage, that type of thing. As far as buying and selling stuff, not that. Wheat, not in season. Canola seems to be a fairly flat. This has was down here before, but canola does not seem to be fluctuating. Sunflowers also seems to be inflated. Soybeans, I was planning to sell it on the second day of summer, but it looks like again soybeans is not fluctuating. We're going to have to run a year to see when the greatest demand for soybeans is. That was a great demand price. This is where I expect it would have been here if we hadn't had the great demand. We're not doing potatoes, we're not doing sugar beets, we can't do cotton because Geo doesn't allow for it. Next thing I wanted to check was bad time to buy chickens. I'm gonna let, oh, those are Yorkshire Old Spot, they're pigs. Looks like pigs are good to buy at the end of fall, but we'll see. Price of sheep's dropping. And price of cows is dropping. Wow. Hay was worth a lot then. But only as bales. Slurry has no value, manure has no value. Silage, again, no value. Wood chips are more valuable than predicted. Milk, meh. All fluctuates. Eggs, hard to say. So anyway, that's that stuff. Everything is planted. We checked that. So then we've got basically a few days fertilization every few days, and then we'll be into harvest. So it's not going too badly. So I am FS19 birch tree. Yes, okay. So we covered that bit. So for now, I'm not planning to buy any animals. I could buy the grass field, but I'm not planning to buy a baler at this moment. I'm planning to use all of my stuff loose. We'll make hay, we'll make grass, we'll make silage. We can sell the silage loose, that much is certain. The hay and the grass I'll keep in the silos because we plan to get sheep and we can feed sheep with both of those. But we'll hold off buying sheep until the price comes down, and we're going to have to figure out what that is as the price updates to true price over the course of the year. Outside of that, we're kind of done. We will be fertilizing on the next game session still today. We played a little bit of today, which wasn't planned for when I started this session, but I screwed up the time lapse and raced into the night while I was off trying to do something else. So for now, I'm going to say this is the end of day 5, and everyone have a good night. We'll be back tomorrow evening with some World of Warships. Thanks for watching, and good night. I'm out of here.